So I'd like you to cover my class today. The sport that I'm going to do is rugby.
Yeah.
And the key stage is Key Stage 2, Year 3. And it's the first session of their rugby.
Okay.
It's tag rugby. The learning objectives are you need to develop an understanding of tag rugby, develop an understanding of attacking and defending, develop an understanding on how to throw and catch a rugby ball, and learn how to correctly put on and off rugby tag belts.
Okay.
Prior learning, so last year in Year 2, they learned how to play the game of tails with their tags and belts, develop an understanding of attackers and defenders, and basic throwing and catching with small soft tennis balls.
So they should already have an idea of how to put the belt on already, but obviously just show them just in case they don't remember.
Yeah, show them and make sure they have a full understanding on how to do it. So in session 2, they'll be able to get on straight away and do it.
Okay.
The resources you'll need, rugby balls, bibs, canes, and tag belts and tags. The lesson will be focusing on the first step of tag rugby. It'll give the children to start learning new skills, throwing and catching techniques, but actually using a rugby ball. They'll also be tagging each other using the belts for the progression of the next lesson. The lesson will start with a warm-up and have a game during the warm-up. There'll be a throwing and catching drill, then 2 tagging games, and then a cool down.
Okay.
So, the session plan, I've got it all kind of laid out. Introduction will be 5 minutes. So obviously you take the register and welcome into the session, and just state the session aims to them, explain them what they have to do and what they should know by the end of the lesson. Couple of health and safety things, just make sure there's no rubbish around the area they're playing. Make sure the equipment's all good condition, and confirm any injuries or anyone that doesn't have kit and stuff. Try and lend them the kit so they can participate.
Do they have that in the changing rooms?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Make sure all the equipment is all okay.
Yeah.
I've checked it myself and it is all okay. Just make sure prior to the session you just check it. Make sure nothing's broke. So the warm-up will last roughly for about 10 minutes. Start with mobilization. So start bending the arms and the legs, just making sure the joints are lubricated. And then a pulse raiser. I'm going to play a game of Bulldog.
Yep.
Use the 20 by 20 grid. And they have to get from one end of the grid to the other without getting tagged.
Yeah.
If you're tagged, you join the Bulldog in the middle. The last person left is the winner. And that can be done over and over again, kind of thing, until the winner's chosen.
Yeah.
And then you can restart it again if you haven't filled the whole 10 minutes. The idea of the game is to try and introduce the taggers to defend. They're trying to defend them by not getting to the other side. And then also stretch all major muscle groups. The skills and drills last 15 minutes. There's a passing and catching technique drill. So they'll be in groups of 3. One ball between a group, and the technique that I'm going to give them is the throw and C technique. So there's your C, and then what you have to do then is, so pretend you're starting the ball here, you make a C and you release. So from here you go around and you release the ball.
Okay.
There's the rugby ball, that's the C. You go around, when you finish the C, you release
Okay.
to the person stood there, catching it. Okay. When receiving the ball, make sure, very good technique to use for the children is to have your hands out like cradling a baby, and then give the ball a cuddle when you receive it.
Yeah.
So you get the ball, you give the ball a cuddle. The children should hold the ball in two hands, and then they could also change position in the line. So obviously you need to set up. So say there's your 20 by 20 grid. You'll just need to set up somewhat of 3 cones there, 3 cones there,
Yeah.
3 cones there. Obviously, there will be a maximum of 26 children, so space it out kind of evenly. And also throughout, kind of try and walk around the group, give constructive feedback. Try and help them out, try and make them solve their own kind of problems.
Yeah.
There it is explained. And then the condition game at the end. So there's 15 minutes for the condition game. The session will be 50 minutes long. Condition game. We're gonna play. The first game is called Tells. The children have 2 tags each. Obviously, this will be where you give them their tag belts.
Yeah.
So you teach them how to put it on correctly, and then on how to put the tags on. So the children have 2 tags each. They stay inside the 20 by 20 grid, and it is everyone versus everyone. So it's going to be a bit mayhem. But if you feel it's too manic, you could split them up. But I mean, they'll be sat out doing nothing for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So it's probably best to do them all together. It is everyone versus everyone. The last person with their tags on wins.
Okay.
Once the children have both their tags taken off, they have to just go and sit out in the out zone, which you could put, say that's your 20 by 20 grid there. That's your 20 by 20 grid. You just set dotted cones around in a circle. And that could be your out zone.
Okay.
Just so they've got somewhere to sit, it's going to be safe, and you know that they shouldn't be going out of that kind of area. If you situate yourself roughly there, draw a stick down, you can see the out zone and the people. Don't look towards the 20 grid, not look at the out zone, because you won't be able to see the children. You could be messing around in the out zone. Also, that'll lead us on to using the tags again in a game called Rats and Rabbits. So it's very simple. You pair the pupils up, stay on the 20 by 20 grid. I've got a picture here already. You see, there's the rats, there's the rabbits. If you shout rats, the rats need to run to their base before getting tagged by the rabbit.
Yeah.
If you say rabbit, the rabbit needs to get tagged back to their base before getting tagged by the rats. If they get tagged, that person gets a point. So if they pull a tag off, they get a point. If they lose their tag, they don't get any points.
Okay.
And also there is the kind of 3 people rugby ball thing. That's technique for the Rats and Rabbits game, and also the throw-in and passing drill. When you're playing the Rats and Rabbits, exaggerate the R, because they're both beginning with R. So you would carry out the R longer than normal to try and make it exciting for them and really interesting for them. And then eventually a nice cool down, a light pulse lower, and a stretch. So you get them to jog round the 20 by 20 grid to a walk, and then do the stretches before what you've done before, but hold them for a bit longer.
Okay.
So the first stretches you'll be holding for about 8 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then that was in the warm up, and then the cool down, hold it for roughly about 15 to 20 seconds.
Okay. Yeah.
Is there any questions?
No, it seems pretty straightforward.
Do you understand all the? If I give you the session plan,
Yeah.
you have to follow that.
Okay.
Thank you.